Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today,
Kyle McIntyre.
we got Kyle McIntyre.
Oh, in the flesh again.
Yes. So, Kyle, what is new in your world? What is shaking? What is grooving? What is good, baby?
I gotta. Oh fuck!
You're in your PJs.
Yeah,
today.
I am comfortable.
You're very relaxed.
Oh man,
You're just
I might go to sleep.
Easing
right
into
now.
the what's new.
I got a new pedal.
Okay.
I got a DoD looking glass.
What's that?
It is a pedal.
It's fucking motherfucker.
Boom, gotcha. Boom. Boom.
Swish.
Fucker. So it's a. I mean the clue was in the name of the pedal.
Yeah, you texted that to me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, the good pedal. I'm like, I legit, I've never heard of the looking glass. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. You're like, it's in your name, bro. Guess. I'm like, I don't fucking care that much.
It's in name, okay?
It's the name of the game.
The name of the game.
A lot of people don't know it's about the name of the game. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
a minute in. We haven't fucking said what it is.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. It is a Klon-like pedal.
So one of those
It's a
transparent.
yeah
Overdrive.
transparent. Those are the hot words when you're
Yep.
looking it up. Yeah. So, and it is pretty good actually.
Okay.
It is awesome.
Was it a used one you got?
Yes, it was used.
Good price?
Yeah. I mean, usually they're like going for $130.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Really?
And I got mine for he was selling it for like $100 with shipping. I think I got him down to like $85.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm stoked on that because
How's it compare with like your
soul food. I think this one's way more versatile.
Because Soul Food, you modded that?
I modded it. I basically just changed out
Parts.
the like shitty components for like better quality components.
Did you notice a difference?
Not really.
That's going to be a no.
Yeah. I changed the LED out. It looks really cool.
It's fucking deep.
It is sick. No, but this is more usable. So it's got, I wouldn't say more usable. It's got more options. So it's got like a high cut, a low cut. It's got, your standard, it's got concentric knobs, which is cool. I didn't realize. With the, you're looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. With the treble and
the bass
cut.
Yeah, or that concentric, and then you have like your volume,
Your high, low, and your input filter.
Yeah, which I haven't really heard what that's doing.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your gain, your level. It is hard to read this thing.
It was so shiny.
So
I tried sending you a picture of it.
shiny.
It's shiny as fuck.
And yeah, it's hard to even read this.
Yeah, it's chrome.
This is a man looks at pedal and tries to read it on the air. Anyways, yeah.
It's awesome. It is really cool. Maybe before you take off
Try
tonight,
it out.
you try it out.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. And then by request of you wanted me to mod some of your pedals with some LEDs, so I kind of went over the top and got 1,000 LEDs.
I don't have 1,000 pedals. I got 2.
I know. I'm going into business now.
If you just want me to change your LED, I can do that.
Send them my way. Yeah. So I got like just
That'd
a bunch
be
of 3 millimeter clear. I like the way the clears look, and then they have a color, obviously.
Okay.
So they're not like the red ones that you see on like
Boss or something.
Boss. Yeah, they're gonna be clear until they're activated, and they're that color.
Yeah. So I brought my Boss Blues driver that I want you to mod. We haven't figured out what mod I want to do. There's like a tweed one, and so maybe try that. I kind of like it, but it's like there's some harshness to it. There can be.
So you want me to soften it up a little bit?
Yeah, that you can smooth it out and bring a little bit more clarity to it. But it's a great drive.
I love those. I need to get one for myself.
Yeah. And then I just wanted a blue LED. Because it's a blues driver.
Oh, it's a blues driver.
Yeah, so you put a blue LED. Because it's like you said, I don't know, sometimes like, one of the things that people always change out when they do mods is the LED. Because it really step it up.
Yeah. It makes you know, it goes, oh, that one is modded.
Yeah.
Which is, it's really simple to do. It's
Yeah.
like one of the easiest things. Unless you're like me with last night, like I broke I popped open my G7 and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change the LED out. It's gonna be great.
Be a fucking champion.
And put it back together and it wouldn't work. I'm like, fuck. And I putting it. I guess when I pulled it out, I broke a wire. Like it just was probably barely soldered on.
What, are you trying to like open the thing with your teeth or something?
Yeah, no. Well, they make short.
It's like a bag of chips.
They're not meant to be opened and modded. So when Boss buttons it up, they're like, all right, shortest cable. We can add this line somewhere else. Save some money. But
yeah, they're trying to just make sure that you keep your fucking grubby hands out of there.
Yeah, it was like 11:30. I'm trying to troubleshoot. I'm like getting pissed off, and then realize it's just a simple grounding issue.
In your workshop, burn the midnight oil.
The midnight beer.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
That's my theme music.
That's what's going on.
It's like elevator music, just really shitty.
It's like just merry melodies. Looney Tunes, the factory music. Boom, boom, boom. You think you're getting business done?
And then I bought like a something on eBay. It's a bunch of little knobs, just like vintage knobs off of like ovens and stuff. Just, hold on, just to see if they would
garbage.
Just to see if I could put them on pedals, just to kind of. They're like retro looking. They're not like, it's not like, oh, this one has like pizza grease on it or something. This is like, Bakelite or aluminum. Oh, shut up!
Shut your ass up!
I got it for a good deal.
One man's trash, okay? Another man's treasure.
It's my treasure.
And you're looking at him.
Yeah, so that's my what's new. Really? Can I criticize your?
I don't know.
What's new?
Do you have a? I don't know. I feel like I'm just got to give you back the business because you had so many hot takes last week.
Oof.
Oh, with your Kyle files.
I got shot down.
Yeah,
that's all right. I was taking it.
You're just out there, Kyle. You're laying the lumber, and everybody's giving you business back. It's like the next, promo photos we take. It's got to get like caution tape over your mouth because your words are lethal. Bringing people,
triggering a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like my words are weapons of mass destruction.
Try and tame this.
Just try and stop me. Anyways, but yeah, I have to give it back to you. Let's see. What's new, huh?
No, that's what I'm asking you.
I'm trying to see what. Okay. Well, I had not a lot of gear stuff, but I got some shitty. I went to the dentist again.
Oh, God.
I feel like they are screwing me.
Yes, we've covered this. You were in control of your own mouth.
Other people about this too, and I'm like, well, because like they're over there.
They put turtle wax in there, and
they're
run a machine down your throat.
They're checking the gums and stuff like that. Oh, you got some deeper pockets here. We need to clean them out. Yeah, clean them out. And I'm like,
this is a mining operation. What are you doing?
Well, I feel like one of the kids on was it like Jerry Springer, Scared Straight or whatever? The dental hygienist, she's leaning over me. Your mouth sucks. You should floss more. You need to do this. We need to go in and clear this out. And I'm like, I guess you're right. I'm garbage.
No.
No, anyway, so
you need to stand up for yourself,
going
Brian.
in for the cleaning, and then I was just like, man, I'm sure everybody's been there, but it's like, how is that helpful for your fucking teeth? Like just scraping at your fucking
metal
gums
with
and
steel.
Yeah, and you're like, oh God, and they're digging in there,
and they're like, you only have one, coat of enamel.
Yeah, they're going
and they're scraping the shit out of it, and all you can think of is it chipping away.
Yeah, and you're just like, I'm like,
on a molecular level.
Yeah, I'm like, watch out for jawbreakers. Those hard candies, but she's in there with
steel ice pick and run it down
like a
you're bleeding.
In your
no
mouth.
Shit, I'm bleeding.
Oh, you should floss more. You're bleeding. This viscous blood they're sucking at you. I'm like, you should floss more, or else you wouldn't bleed so much. I'm like, I think you're fucking with a hook. I'm like, good God. And she's like, well, let me know. And I'm like, I'm like crying. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. If I say no, are you gonna stop? I'm like,
I had one time where I had previously had a filling. And it had, I guess it was rough, and so it was collecting it was just staining. It was just and so I asked for them to polish it down. So they're which don't do this. Don't ever ask for them to polish it because they're sanding it down.
Yeah.
They don't
100 quid.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't give you Novocaine. They don't like. Oh, so it was really close to my gums. So he's like in my mouth, and then it starts bleeding.
Yeah,
he's like, "Well, you should floss more." I'm like, I saw the tool you were using. You're not fooling anybody.
Look here, dickhead.
You were just grinding away, like if you took sandpaper to my skin on my hand,
yeah,
it would do the same thing, and you would tell me to floss.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, going in for cleaning and stuff like that, and just like, oh, your gums, they put, anyway, so I'm like, there's like $50.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just chipping away at my like JCM 900 money. It all is going to just bills. I had to fucking teeth, and then I had to like pay for car insurance. It's just like a friend hit me up. It was RJ. He's like, "Oh man, you sold it. What are you gonna buy?" I'm like, car insurance. And going to the dentist is not going to anything fun. So it's like just like adult bills. And that's kind of one thing. It's like, whatever. It's it is what it is. But I'm definitely in the mood of, maybe it's just because I sold a big ticket item. I didn't make like a killing off of it, but I'm kind of in the mood to sell stuff. I'm kind of like looking at my pedals that I haven't played in a while, and I'm like, I think things are going to hit the chopping block. Like my full tone, like full drive 2 with the JHS thing. I don't
really
need it. I don't
yeah, but
it's really just a giant tube screamer with like a couple of clipping options, and then with the clean boost added. I'm like, I have a couple clean boosts. I'm like, what do I need that for? I have a tube screamer. I have the Ibanez Mini one, and if I wanted another tube screamer with like different clipping options, you have the one from Joseph that you have in your like my pedals. I'm like, I don't know. It's just I'm looking at stuff, and maybe I'm just like, I'm not doing anything yet, but I'm just thinking like, oh man, I should just clear stuff out. Maybe it's like spring cleaning that I'm just like, I just need to get rid of pedals and stuff like that. I'm in a different mindset where I'm like, you're buying stuff and you're excited about like, oh, I want to get more pedals, and I'm like, I need to clear it out. If I haven't used it, and like the thing is, like, I haven't really used this stuff in a year, maybe even longer.
You're bumming me out, dude.
I'm fucking, just give it to me. Like, get it out of my sight so I don't see it. And I'm like, yeah, dude,
do that.
You don't have it anymore. It's me. I have it. I used to take all my stuff. You just ransack my house.
Were you going to pay for that? Excuse me? What'd you say?
Excuse me? Yeah, so that's that. And then I do need to work on my P bass. So it cut out.
When you say you
need to work on my P bass.
Oh,
like I was playing it, and I'm like, man, because I was testing out the amp, the V4B that I'm trying to sell, and I'm like, man, this V4B is like really fucking quiet. No wonder, like, it's like not. I'm like, maybe it's like I blew out a tube or something. I'm cranking it like halfway. I'm like, it's just kind of buzzing. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not getting any output out of my bass. I heard some things. I'm like, fuck, and I was like, shit. And then I like mess with the pot and I go pop, pop, pop. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit. So I turned the amp down. I'm like, oh, there's got to be something going on in there. And I just like, I'll put this back in the case, and I grab my jazz bass, and like the amp is still loud, and it's really great sounding.
It's a good amp,
but it's just not a punk.
Not good for live.
But anyways, so I'm like, all that to say, like, my P bass. I don't know I haven't really played it out that much. I'm like,
I bet it's oxidized somewhere.
Maybe, I don't know. So we got to crack it open. Maybe you were saying I should probably just jump into it, get a new harness.
Yep, get a harness
while it's open. Yeah, so maybe I'll hit up Sean from Gun Street and see, because maybe I'll do something different than you did. I don't know. I'll check to see what other options. But I mean,
yeah.
And I was gonna say push pull, but we never really liked that on yours. There's not really a whole lot you can do on P bass, huh?
No.
Check with him.
But that's not a whole lot you need to do either.
Yeah, maybe I'll
don't overdo it.
Maybe I'll just do a single volume on mine.
That'd be cool.
Because I don't really ever use the tone. Because tone is in your fingers.
The tone is in your mind.
The tone. That's kind of it for the what's news. Did you want to jump into a topic?
Okay.
No.
I just want to keep talking about new things. We can make up some new things.
Okay, well, I am actually totally going back on what I said on my what's new. How I said I'm trying to sell stuff.
Oh, no.
I was like, I picked this topic out because of something that I was looking for on Reverb. So, man, Jesus Christ, I'm just a liar. He's a fucking liar.
Bastard.
I am looking for specific things, though. Maybe I want less stuff, but I want more the stuff that I do want, and I want specifically for or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you a story.
Let me gather on the campfire.
Yeah,
here.
I was looking on Reverb for a Snouse company that does they have their Black Box, which is kind of a Bluesbreaker clone.
Oh yeah,
their take on a Bluesbreaker. They have a couple of them. They have the original one, and then they did a version 2, a deluxe or whatever, and then they did a short run of mini enclosure, Snouse Black Box minis. And I was like, oh man, I really, really like the sound over the past year or so of stacking a Bluesbreaker with a Riot.
Well, yeah.
And I have that in my pedals, but I'm like, I have a mini Riot that I'm like, you put the Black Box, or sorry, the Bluesbreaker in front of the Riot, and it's really to me, I'm like, oh man, that's a perfect plain sound. Because I'll for the more tamed back parts, it's still a harsh kind of gritty, the grittiness of the Bluesbreaker, and then you can stack that Riot behind it, and it still doesn't the Riot doesn't need to be as super saturated. You can have the gain maybe at 9 o'clock or whatever, but those two stacking together, I'm like, oh man, I love that. And I even get that same sound out of my Fractal, so I can get their Ruckus pedal, which is their Riot one. And I think,
quiet down, you're creating a ruckus.
Yeah. And then their I think Blues Box or whatever, which is their Bluesbreaker.
You'd think it would be the Fuzz blue box.
Yeah, I think it's Blues Box is what they is what their Bluesbreaker.
Blues Smasher.
Yeah. So those two together, even just in the digital amp world or simulator or whatever, I like the way the combo sounds, the way they interact. And so I'm like, oh man, not that I need it, and I'm going back on my word. I want the mini. I want the mini Snouse Black Box. Because I'm like, oh man, because I have the mini Riot, so I should just get the mini Black Box or whatever. So I've had it on my watch list on Reverb, so anything Snouse comes up, and you see a lot of the deluxe ones and then the first versions out a lot, and I'm like,
just not that many.
I guess Snouse is a more smaller boutique, handmade, company.
Where are they based out of? Do you know?
I do not know. Somewhere in America, I believe, or maybe Canada. So
somewhere on the earth.
Somewhere on the earth.
Made by a human.
Probably. And, it's just a cool idea. And then the fact that I'm like, yes, it's gimmicky and people don't like it, but I do. I like the mini pedals. And the fact that I'm like, I have the mini Riot. I should get the mini Bluesbreaker. I don't need it. I obviously know I don't need it, but I really want it. So I have that, Snouse, and all the other ones come up, not except for the one that I'm looking for. Until the other day, that mini one came up, and it was on Reverb, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, perfect. It's on my watch list or whatever, in your feed or whatever. You can pick if any of these type of brands or this type of thing comes up, or you're searching for comes up, it'll pop up on your main page there. And I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, I'll watch this. And so I was at work.
What was it sitting at price-wise?
$100.
What?
That's still
fuck you. And
still
continue with your story.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm like, oh man.
No, I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm saying
I was saying it's probably a lot. Well, I mean, the other ones go for 140, 150, something like that. And I was like, oh man, I could probably.
You're making me cry.
Dick them down a little bit.
Continue.
And so,
because I think I know how the story ends.
So I just I watched it, and I was like, oh, I'll check it out. Because I was at work, and I wasn't looking at my phone at work, but I saw it and I was like, oh, I'll check it out maybe on my lunch break, or when I get home, maybe I'll try and put an offer in or whatever. And gone.
Yeah.
It was gone in less than
you know what happens,
hour.
Brian?
Huh.
You snooze. You lose.
You're going to tell me something? I'm like, fuck. I mean, you may have heard this old proverb. This old saying.
He who bids last on Reverb loses first.
Yeah. So, anyways, missed out on that, and I was like, "Fuck." To me, that brought up, what's gear that you've always been kind of looking for, that's been on your watch list, been on your, that you've been kind of searching for, and your white whale of gear.
Yeah.
This is kind of one recently, maybe in the past like year or so. I followed Snouse on Instagram and saw they did the short run of the minis. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should buy one. And I didn't jump on it when it was on his site for new, because he did like a run of, I don't know, 40 or 30 or something like that. It's like not a whole lot. And I'm like, and I was like, fuck it. Nobody, I don't know. I don't need it. And when I was building, collecting all these mini pedals. So, I mean, I have the Tube Screamer and I'm like, they're different enough that I would want one. Anyway, so enough of this whole thing. I waited and like lost it. And, thinking about gear, what are some things that you've always wanting to like buy or try or find that you've never like maybe, getting your hands on or seeing it even pop up for sale?
Oh man, I'm in bass world right now, so I'm thinking like a Mark Hoppus bass. So you can get. I've seen the like original ones pop up, but the one that has the reverse pickup configuration.
Okay, yeah.
I have never seen one of those come up on Craigslist in the local area, or actually, I probably should look on Reverb, but I've never seen that one before. I've always seen, surf green,
yeah,
or like his pink one or whatever, the bright pink, but I've never seen the new configuration.
Oh, where the pickups are swapped. So where the P bass, it's still a P bass quarter pound, but where the P bass, instead of being closer to the bridge on the lower strings,
they just basically flip.
Yeah.
So your high strings are now closer to the bridge, and your low strings are now.
So it's your higher strings are bassier because the pickup is closer to the neck.
That's right.
Your lower strings are more. This is the idea that they're more trebly because they're.
It's only like a quarter-inch difference.
Yeah, and I'm like,
or like an inch difference.
It could make a difference. I don't know.
It's just kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, and the fact that like he had that in configuration, I think he changed the headstock a little bit and some of the woods, or like even the finishes. It's still, some of them are surf green, but it's like transparent gloss, so kind of similar to your P-Bass.
A little bit of wood tone, a little of the grain in there.
Yeah, I think just trying it out would be like, does it actually make a fucking difference?
Yeah, you have to do like a side-by-side comparison, I guess.
All right, so I got a couple.
All right, go for it.
So even though I just did my whole Snouse story, a lot of Orange stuff.
Yeah.
Because Orange, they do things in really short runs, or like they do like a version, like a Mark II of this amp or whatever, and they don't run completely forever. Maybe they'll only like run it for a couple years or whatever, or a specific one. So much like the my 8015, I was looking for that one for a long time. And when I like probably a couple years until when I found out that they had like an 8030, which I really love that amp, but they had one that's like a 1x12 and 15 watts and still made in UK. And I'm like, whoa, that's a great amp. I'm like, I would love to have one. And when I finally like saw one in a local shop here in San Diego, I was like, what? For a good price? It was like under $600. And they go on, I've seen them pop up a lot more on Reverb for like $1,200 for the same one. So I'm like, for me, that was one white whale of gear that I actually ended up getting and really liking. But for me,
wait, you got to add the 85 too to that.
Yeah, that one I would think I've seen them go on, Guitar Center and Reverb for, whatever the Chinese made ones, which is, whatever. I'm sure they're still pretty good, but they did a very, very short run of UK made 85s combos, which is, I don't need it at all, but I'm like, fuck, I really
They're still
want
like $600-$700.
I don't know. I've never seen one.
Oh,
I've never seen a UK made one. I've seen them, like all the ones that I've seen that you probably saw too, were all made in China. And they're going for some people are selling them for $500 because they're like, I upgraded the speaker. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, cool, man. And I'll include the other speaker too. I'm like, well, fuck.
And now your shipping's gonna be more.
Now everything's up more. I'm like,
thanks, dude.
And then some people sell them. I've seen them go for $300, but those are the Chinese made ones. Well, not there. Like I said, not that there's a big difference, but I'm like, I would really want the UK made one. So that's one. And then I was thinking, with the Terror Base combo that we have, which yet again they didn't really run that specific amp a whole lot, and I was looking for that one for a couple of years, and I finally found a good deal on one, and I got it. But the matching cabs that kind of were part of that series, the isobaric cabs, you don't see a lot of those. And the ones that you really don't see a lot of is the isobaric SP410 bass cabs, where they have it looks like a 210, but they're actually 4. Yeah, they put 2 speakers and then 2 speakers behind them, so it's like 1200 watt power rating, and then but they're not very big. But it's like the fact that I'm like, oh, that handles 1200 watts, so you could put one of those Terror Base 1000 heads on top of it was the idea, and then it's like you're not gonna be running it at full power, and you can just and then it's like a very compact kind of amp. But to me, I'm like, oh man, those cabs are cool. I'm like, I would like to find a the SP 2x12 to add it on to the combo, just to make it a little stack there.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen one of those on like Facebook Marketplace, but up in LA.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they like I've seen them on Reverb too, but they're like the black Tolex ones.
Oh yeah,
Chicago Music Exchange has one, and they're like $600. I'm like, ooh, I want black one,
but you don't want the black ones.
I want the orange. Yeah. But
you want to match.
Yeah, well, it's an orange. You got to have it orange.
Yeah,
and then so I'm like, ooh, I want a good price, and then I don't want like $100 shipping or whatever the hell it's gonna be. But I got some more. What else you
got? SVT Blue Line. So like,
oh, you don't see a lot of those used.
No. So like locally, like a 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an original one.
Yeah,
I think that would be pretty cool to have. I would not need it with a matching cab. Matching 8x10. Yeah. But no need for it at all. But they just look cool.
Well, I think growing up, those were always like the ones that are like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have the classic. Well, you don't have the Blue Line. That's always like the step up. You're like, damn.
Yeah.
He's right.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they did discontinue those, but we saw at NAMM that they're bringing them back this year.
Yeah.
So,
but I wouldn't want a new one.
You do, yeah.
I still want an original, like 70s, 80s.
Oh, okay. You're not even the reissues that.
No.
Okay. Dang.
So like, very rare.
Oh Jesus.
And then while I'm on Ampeg, like a Dan Armstrong, Lucite.
Oh, okay.
Guitar. I want like a guitar and a bass.
Yeah, a guitar would be cool. I don't see a lot of guitars. Yeah, actually. The Foo Fighters had one, or was like they used to play them. Like
they're like $4,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
I was looking at one the other day, and it's got like a humbucker in it, and that it's like it's like more rare than like the single coil.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
they only came with single coils unless you like did a special order.
Yeah, not that I'm looking for them, but I've never seen them Craigslist. But I'm sure they're on Reverb.
Yeah, they're on Reverb.
No,
but it'd be cool to have a bass. I don't know how that would work out though. I mean, those are heavy.
Yeah,
they're heavy. I don't think I'd want to gig with it.
Yeah, I think they also had like weird bridges, like they were wood bridges.
Yeah,
which I'm like, that's not
practical.
Good. That's not gonna
work.
You
got termites in your not that like guitars can't be made out of wood, but
yeah. Let's see.
Well, okay, we'll go with your orange. I mean, obviously 8200 would be sick.
Yeah, even like, well, you've never actually really played one. I think you've seen them.
I've seen them, and I don't have the balls like in the music shop to like, can I play this?
I think you just need to try it because you might not really like them.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, a lot of the oranges that I've played, I liked. So I'm like, I highly doubt that their flagship best bass amp that they make.
Oh yeah, is going to be dog shit.
Yeah, like one that everybody likes. What if it was just absolutely shitty?
Shit!
Like, good God. One that I had was this is very, very specific. So my old Mesa 4x12 traditional straight cab.
The one that was yours.
That was mine. My old one.
Yeah.
I wish I had that one. The heads I've seen, 2-channel rectifiers, I've seen a lot, but that specific cab, I think I've mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again. I wish I didn't sell it. I loved that cab. I loved the way it looked. I loved the way it sounded. I my current orange cab that I have now is really good, but I'm like, man, that one, it just had a certain, I don't know, maybe because of the wood that it was together, the speakers were so worn in. I just got rid of it because I'm like, well, I don't know, I don't need this. It's such a big cab, and I'm sold it with the head. I'm like, oh, cool, just to get like it moving, you know? And man, I've been searching high and low, and I think I've told you about it, to like look on Craigslist and to like, expand out to different cities because it could have been on the move.
Yeah, I've looked. I looked all over.
Every once in a while I'll pull up on Craigslist, just like, oh, Mesa cabs, Mesa cabinet, boogie cabinet, something to try and find out what it is. And it's like so specific. I would know it when I saw it because, like, one, I spray painted our logo on it a bunch of times. It had the Tolex ripped off, like all the leather. Actually, it's not Tolex. It was leather that was on there.
There's like cloth underneath.
Yeah,
it.
And then so like the cloth, like that bonded the glue,
underlay or whatever it is.
That's still on there, and it's like was green or like grayish, like because it was like not really meant to be exposed like that. And then playing gigs, and so there was like, drinks marks because I didn't put a Coaster when I put had it on soda or whatever on the amp, and then I'm like, the grill cloth was torn on one of those parts, but I didn't care. One of the wheels broke, so it's like all dirty ass wheels except for one brand new one. And I was like, man, that was my amp, and I had like just stars spray painted all over it, and I'm like, man, that's one with the cab. The head, obviously, Mesa heads are cool, but that Mesa cab, that's like one thing. I'm looking high and low. I'm looking at Guitar Centers. Used. I'm looking at eBay, looking on Reverb sometimes, but I'm like,
post a wanted. Post like a WIB or WTB, want to buy my old shit back.
Misconnections.
Yeah.
On Craigslist.
No, but still in the musical instruments section.
Yeah. Oh man. So that's my one. That's my probably biggest white whale. Like I would probably buy it if it was like in Arizona. I would drive to Arizona and buy it.
Yeah.
That's how badly I'd want it.
I'd go with you.
But I'm like, I don't need it at all. 100% don't need it. And I would never probably use it. And then, because I would be like, I have orange heads. I'm going to use my orange cab. But if I don't know. I just want it because I'm like, that was my.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I bonded with that, and I'm like,
my baby.
Shouldn't have sold it. So it's partially a gear sell regret, but that's a white whale gear. If I could find it, and the reason why I have that like fire that I'm like, I could probably find it because I saw it listed maybe a year later after I sold it to the guy. It made it back on Craigslist, and I was thinking about like, oh, maybe I should buy it. I mean, the guy jacked up the price way more than it should be. I think he was trying to sell it for like $700.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, a local band. He's like, said local band played this, and he's like, linked our band to it. I'm like, we weren't ever big. And so it was like trying to like make a selling point. It's a gigging amp, bands are playing it. I'm like, oh man. And I was just like, nah, I don't have the money to buy it. And I'm like, I don't need it. I sold it because I was like, I was into Vox and Fender combos and stuff like that at the time. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, how am I going to do with a cab? So got rid of it. And I'm like, fuck. That's why I say I have that glimmer of hope, because it was like a year or so later I saw it on Craigslist again. I'm like, oh man, what if some kid bought it and then, he's playing in his band and then he decides I'm going to get a Vox or I'm going to just go Fractal instead. And then he sells it. I'm like, that's what I'm hoping for. Somebody gets it and they're like, I don't want this big ass thing anymore. I'm like, I do. I'll figure out a place for it.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a while. I'll look again.
But anyways, that's mine. You got a couple more?
Yeah, I have a couple pedals. And these are actually ones I've bought, and that I've looked forever or waited patiently.
Yeah, so these are ones that you got. Yeah.
Yeah, so that MXR reverb, I got, I really wanted to just buy whatever, the first one I saw on Reverb, but, I waited and waited and waited. And
yeah, really, for a good price.
And got one locally, didn't have to pay shipping or have to wait in the mail.
Yeah, you saved a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And it was, how did it turn out? Was it everything that you hoped for and more?
I didn't realize how good it was, You
were just kind of getting it to.
I was like, oh, well, it's an MXR pedal and it's the only reverb they make, so I want it.
I want one.
I didn't realize it had like 6 settings. Yeah. 6 different reverbs in it.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty damn good.
Yeah. So that was a good one.
Like really small, sounding reverbs or like, quick sound. I don't know how to describe it. Like your spring, your typical ones to like your crazy epic sounding,
more long drawn out ones.
Yeah. And then like I talked about the looking glass. Like I've been waiting probably, not that I've been looking at pedals for that long really, but for probably close to 8 months.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know the thing existed.
That one hit my radar when I was looking at DODs, a while ago.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh well, that's a little too expensive. I think you had
that's more expensive than the Rubberneck. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
For like 150 and stuff like that.
It's ridiculous. No, because you had been talking about. I remember the first time I saw it because you told me Bone Shaker.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, check. People talk about the Bone Shaker. How about you look it up? And I looked up. I'm like, I don't really want that pedal, but this looking glass pedal looks really cool.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Because
it was probably back then. I was still the same reaction. I'm like, what?
Fuck off.
I've heard of that thing. I'm like,
yeah. So finally, I fucking got one. And then I guess pedals that I still want, the 5150K, which is the Japanese release of the 5150
MXR.
Well,
the EVH, I guess.
Yeah, it's EVH pedal.
Yeah.
Want that. And then of course I want the Horizon devices, because it's an MXR.
Because it's
MXR, but it's also like I think the cheapest one's like $250. It's the Tokyo Drive.
Yeah, it's a precision drive.
Not it's with the different graphic on it.
Just because they're rare. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the cheapest one. The most expensive one I've seen is $400.
Jesus Christ, that's too.
Yeah. So
much.
I'll probably have to wait for someone to be like, well, maybe I'll wait for it to go to 150 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think these people are thinking like, oh, I'm gonna flip these things, and then realize that I'm like, there's not a huge market for the.
So that's next. That's on my short to medium to long list. We'll see where depending on the price.
Yeah. Well, I guess I got a couple that have like gear that I always like really, really was like pining after and looking forward to, and it was like, phew. Well, that was a thing.
I gave it my best.
Well, okay, so I was like, maybe like 2012 or so, or 13, whatever it was. I was really, really into the Gaslight Anthem. I was super into them and watching them a lot. They were a great band, so good band. But I was like, he'd have interviews talking about their gear, and they would highlight certain pedals. I'm like, oh, I really want that. I really want that.
Was he a Fender guy?
He's like a bunch of different things. He was doing Vox. He was doing Fenders. He was doing, I think he did like Victory amps.
Laney?
Possibly. I don't know. And they did like stuff where they did like Morgan for a little while.
Okay.
That's kind of what's like back then. Like I think Billy. Back then, Brian Fallon posted about like, oh, I found like my best amp, but it was like an AC20 or something like that from Morgan. So that's like, he would, a very gear guy, he would post on like his Instagram or whatever. Or it's like my favorite gear, my favorite pedal, whatever. So it's like some of the things that caught my attention were the Sweet Honey overdrive from the Mad Professor. And I was like, man, looking, and I was like, oh man, because the one that I think he had and the one that like was really out at the time was the hand wired version. And those things were like buku dollars. They were like $400, like $350, something like that. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Always wanted the hand wired version.
It's like, nah, thanks, dog.
Yeah. I think I've talked about it. I've like always wanted that one. And then I got the PCB version. It's like, it still sounded great. I loved it, and I used that for years until like I finally found the hand wired version.
When you say hand wired, do you mean like point to point? Or is it like a hand wired PCB?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the difference.
Should pop it open, maybe.
You've seen it.
And so I don't remember what it looked like.
Yeah, so you're asking me, and I don't really know the difference. But they're called hand wired, and it says it on there. And it's like significantly like difference in price new, or at least back in the day. And then like somebody was selling it because they're like, they're not a hot item. And somebody sold it for like, I don't know, really cheap. It was like $70 or whatever. Or it was like it was $90.
It must have passed hands enough that
it's just like dropped. And I'm like, oh man, so I got that, and I was like super stoked, and I just like to have it, and I love that pedal. And I was like, one thing that I saw, I'm like, oh, I always wanted this because Brian Fallon played it. I don't think he plays them anymore, but I still like it. And then another thing that I saw that Brian Fallon played was the T-Rex replica delay, and that thing was once I saved up enough money to buy it, because I'm like, oh man, I see it. And like, I think both the guys from the Gaslight were playing them at the time. I was like, oh man, if I'm going to get a delay pedal, like that's, I have a carbon copy at the time. Like, oh man, I should step it up and get like a top tempo kind of thing. And like, they really like it. And it's like, wasn't that good? It was,
what didn't you like about it?
It was higher. It was almost $300, I think. And then it was just like, there was not that, it wasn't as versatile. It was like for $300 worth and like the tap tempo was like, I don't know. It was 12 volts. So that was a bitch.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then I'm like, I don't know. It just didn't really have as much character as I thought it was going to, and as everybody talked about. I was like, oh yeah, it sounds like more like a tape kind of thing. I'm like, well, I really wasn't that well versed in what these delays sound like or whatever, or what my flavor of delay
was. What kind of tape? Scotch or duct?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I really didn't have like my, I don't know, kind of voice at the time back in 2012 as far as pedals go. So you kind of like dive into who you like plays.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And I learned a lesson there. Was very lackluster, stayed in the box until I sold it. And I probably lost like $40.
Well, that's not bad.
No, probably $50. I did not make out on the deal at all. I never played it. But,
Dang.
So that's kind of a white whale of gear. I was like looking for it and saving. And I finally not that, I guess that was a bad example because they weren't hard to find. It was just like maybe hard to get because it was just the money was there. And when I finally got it, I was like, well, live and learn. You got to do a little bit more research before you just jump in and buy something.
Live and let learn.
Yeah. But that's kind of all I got. You got anything else?
No, I'm all spent.
Okay. So the next topic I have here is brands that are known for like one or two things.
Yeah.
And that have ventured into other like major types of products.
Yeah.
So let's say a brand's known for amps or guitars, and then they start doing pedals, or a brand's known for pedals and starts doing amps or guitars. What are the hits and what are the shits?
Yes.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of shits.
Yeah.
So we can figure out why these things are. Is it maybe? I think a lot of it has to do with the brand, like the branding and the brand. You're not like really expecting much out of certain things because it's like different than the norm.
Definitely.
I think we should just jump into it because I think people know that it's going to be a lot of shit talking.
Yeah.
Let's give it to them.
All right.
You started off. Let's hit the bigger
first one
ones.
that's hitting me is Gibson. All right?
Gibson, yeah.
Guitars, excellent. Right?
Yeah.
Acoustics, electrics.
Yeah.
We love them all. Amps.
Yeah, they
don't really make them anymore, right?
No.
Why
I know
not?
they made them in the 50s and stuff like that. And then they came out with them back like when we were gigging or getting our first like gig ready amps when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like it was like I chose the path of Mesa, you chose Ampeg, and I remember being in the store and like the biggest type coveted amp next to the Soldanos was like a Gibson half stack. It was a full stack, Gibson full stack. And it was like, it was like, I remember being like a blue amp with like gold Gibson on it, and gold knobs.
Gibson logo. Gold.
And you remember they had like the fucking metal grill speaker covers that looked like, I want to say like.
Shredder.
No, it was like, they had the speakers and each individual speaker had a grill cover over it, like metal.
Maybe I don't.
It was like, I remember it just like looking, I was like,
turned off by the way it
being
looked.
A kid and noticing that like that looks shitty. That looks like so
Bush League.
Yeah, it looks like a prop. Like you would never play that. Like that looks like a prop in like a rock movie. Like Mark Wahlberg is going to be like a wall of amps. It's going to be Gibson amps. I'm playing a rock star, and what's more rock star than Gibson? I don't know. Nothing. So let's make a half stack or full stack. It was a full stack. I remember being in our local guitar shop. Was that? And I'm like,
I'm gonna have to look that up.
That thing never sold.
I bet it's still there.
I bet it's still there.
It's in the back now.
Yeah, it's now like a restaurant, that guitar store, and it's still there. No, I just remember like never being that cool. And I remember.
Oh, I remember this amp now.
I remember us playing a show with some bands, and that guy, like some guy wheeling that out, I was like, oh fuck. Like,
here's its chance.
I was like, I've never, and it didn't blow me away. It wasn't anything crazy. And it's like obviously
held
like,
its own.
Yeah,
maybe?
I mean the type of like it was
All
at
right.
it was at this is not gonna help people who aren't in San Diego. It was at Epicenter. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you see it, and I was like, this is not a good venue. It was okay. It was a fine, like, fun little venue, but I'm like, this is like, an all ages show. I'm like, what the hell are you gonna do with a fucking full stack Gibson amp? And I'm like, Gibson. And anyway, so I'm like, I was just like fixated. I'm like, I hate the fuck away that thing looks. It doesn't matter if it's like the amp sounds, like a dream. I think it just like what turned me off. So that was like Gibson did not do amps very well. I'm sure like the little amps that they did back in the day were cool, but I'm like, just get like a Champ or something.
What do you got?
I have, well, we were talking Marshall.
Yeah. So
they do the amps, and they're
killer, right?
Yeah. Good amps. Their pedals, I don't think they do a lot of them anymore, but they used to have like I was saying, Bluesbreaker, Marshall Bluesbreaker. That one's a really cool pedal. I mean, they did some of the newer ones back in like the early 2000s. They had like in metal enclosure. They kind of looked a lot like the Dan Electros or like the Snarks.
They have like the almost same knobs almost too.
Like, I was going to say more of the body like construction of the pedal kind of looked like that. And I remember those never really catching on. And I just remember seeing those on a board and thinking that's kind of weird. I'm like, why would you choose that? It was like people who bought like a Marshall. Like I remember seeing him like in Arizona. We were on like playing on tour back in 2000. Anyways, like it was like 2010-ish, 2009 when we were there. And I remember seeing somebody who had like a Plexi and like he had all the Marshall pedals on the floor.
Dang, really bought into it.
Yeah. And I'm like, so you're a real, and I'm like, I just like saw it. I'm like, it's like, the guy who really likes monsters. I'm gonna have a monster hat, monster.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing. And also just like, I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, those Marshall pedals, I don't think are very cool.
What? Okay. So pedals, right?
Yeah. So like I would say the pedals are kind of a hit or miss. Like some really great ones, but where they really fucking shine, fridges.
Damn it.
They got the cool tones there.
Well, I was going to say, like, you don't hear anything about their bass amps.
Yeah.
Like,
I hardly
know they exist.
I don't know if they're still current. I know they used to.
Like 80s and stuff, but...
No, I thought they had them back, like...
90s?
Recently, like, within, like, 2010s.
Oh, wow.
I could have sworn... I don't know. I could... Maybe it's just the practice amps. I know they have Marshall practice
amps. Well, they
amps.
have, like, Because
like, they also own...
They have the Plexi Bass series. They have stuff like that, which is weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like the Super Bass series.
Yeah, the only person I could think of is, like, Lemmy. He's the only one who played Marshalls as a bass player. Everybody else...
But he played, like, a regular head, though, didn't he?
I thought he had... I don't know.
He was a bass head?
I
don't know. We're in overhead now.
Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about.
I get it.
You get out of here. Get out of here. I mean, I think Marshall, I just think of like, oh yeah, I don't really think of them for pedals. I don't know if they do any currently now. They're getting back into doing amps, and maybe that's cool for them.
How about Dark Glass? Everything I think hits.
Yeah, they do like the preamps that you can put into your bass.
Yeah,
are good. And I mean, not really an active player, but I'm like, I think a lot of people really desire, those are like, oh, really great. And like, I hear about those all the time. And like some boutique basses have the Dark Glass electronics.
Yeah.
And then their pedals, really cool.
Man.
Really good.
I could have probably spent another hour at the NAMM booth.
Yeah.
Because they had like 12 pedals.
Yeah.
And they have different renditions and different sizes of the similar ones. But was the B7K pedal? I just fell in love with that.
Yeah, I was really playing the Alpha Omega one.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, they're like packed full of like, you have a DI, you have this, you have ground lift, you have all this crazy stuff for like, I mean, you can make it for live, you can make it for studio. And then their amps too. It's like 900 watts and stuff like that. They're super portable. And I mean, their cabs are small and powerful. I'm like, man, they're a company that I think
they are killing it.
They're spreading out and doing a couple different things. Like Dark Glass is known for, I think they were really only known for their preamps that you can put in their basses a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And they started just like hitting the ground running with their pedals and amps. Like
the preamp is in the bass?
Yeah, you can get. So, I mean, that's one. I was thinking Wampler.
Yeah.
Great pedals. I mean, he's doing tons of pedals, but he has an amp that I don't, maybe because the price is prohibitive.
It's not really known for the amp, you're saying.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the amp at NAMM.
Yeah.
At the Wampler booth. I've never seen people really play them live.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe because they're not, I understand they're boutique and they're not very big, but I'm like, nobody.
He's probably just not making a lot of them either.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Or also, I just don't think of like I know the idea of the amp is to be based around a deluxe reverb, and then it's supposed to be like, a pedal platform because he's a pedal company. So you make your amp pretty simple into like, translate what your drives are going to sound like and whatever, and just like be loud and good sounding. But I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are like, oh boy, I want to spend a lot of money on an amp for my pedals. And so I just don't think, not that it's shitty, I just don't think it's not a hitter, but it's not necessarily a shitter. So
let's see, Mesa cranks out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do amps for sure, obviously. Bass amps are great, guitar amps, acoustic amps, and then they
have some other things, like I've never even seen them, actually.
Yeah, utility pedals, and everybody's going goo goo gaga over like, the Earthquaker came out with that, pedal switch, or like the, solution
effects
for your
loop or whatever.
A solution for your pedal board. But I'm like, Mesa did that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But nobody's really heard about it because it's like, you don't think about Mesa when you think about pedals and that type of like,
effects loops and anything.
Yeah.
Just raw power.
Yeah. Just amps. And, they've changed a lot to try and do like more cleaner style amps and stuff like that, more classic style amps. But it's like, you think about amps with them. And even they had really good pedals. They had like light drives, they had like heavy drives, they had like their throttle box that they did a couple versions of, which was supposed to be like a rectifier in a box kind of deal. But I'm like, I had one and it was really good. But it was like, I sold it because I'm like, man.
Was it black and chrome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they have lights on the inside like they were tubes?
No.
Oh.
That's, I think, the Mesa. It's like it had tread plate and stuff like that. Yeah. Those were like early, but like they came out with like MXR sized enclosure boxes back, like, I don't know, 2000.
Did you like that Plexi or what? Sorry, I almost said Plexi. The rectifier?
Or the rectifier in a box. They called it the throttle box. It was good. I liked it and I used it. It helped make, it was like when I was using my Fender Twin, I was trying to get like a high gain sound out of it and using that. And I'm like, and I got to the point, I'm like, I should just use a higher gain amp. That was kind of at that point when I got that.
What am I doing?
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Now I'm at the point where I'm like, I like the idea of getting like higher gain amps and rolling volume back. Cause I'm like, my clean, like that was when I realized I'm like, I don't really like cleans. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I like look in the mirror. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? That's when
Why
I was
like this?
Why are you like this? And so I was like, man, I just fucking, that's when I started changing more towards the higher gain amps back again. So I've gone like high gain amps to clean amps to back to high gain amps now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, people. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows where you're going.
We're just watching you. We love it.
We're looking and we're laughing. Yeah, that's Mesa. You don't really think about them for anything else.
Yeah.
Other than amps, even though they do them, and it's like, maybe it's just marketing, or it's like your brand. You think of Mesa as your amps. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, that to me, like, I think so far it's like you don't really like with like the Wampler thing. I'm like, you think Wampler pedals. Well, and he did a lot of like videos about the amp and on his channel and stuff like that. And it's like, Wampler, we got the bravado. I'm like, yeah, no, we know it's there.
Well, another thing we mentioned Orange.
Yeah,
they've had a couple misses. What'd you say?
You ain't gotta tread lightly over there.
Yeah,
that bass.
The bass.
You were hinting at it. Your face.
That's what I was going for.
Holy shit! With a capital shit.
All of it.
It is not. It just.
It looks like shit.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Gibson style, like, Les Paul body with P bass pickups is slap a shitty headstock on that.
Man,
like why?
It's disappointing.
I don't know why they did it.
That came from Orange. Okay, all right, we're rolling with it. I get it. You guys design like straight line enclosures. We get it. Yeah. We now know that's all you do well.
You stick with that, and even their pedals. Like I don't.
There's some stinkers, right?
I don't know. I've tried a couple of them, and they like their fuzz. I think I had one of their boosts. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fuzz guy, so it's hard for me to judge something on a fuzz. But I'm like, fuck, man, this is kind of, I don't know. It's like
It's like lackluster.
Yeah, it's like you're not doing anything new. So why'd you even do that? And then
we're bored.
Well, and then their designs too aren't orange. Like it's not orange to me. Like they have like a gorilla on one,
or like a
car, and like a couple like of characters driving the car. I'm like, what is this for?
Yeah, why wouldn't you have
and
they have a really cool symbol like with the shield and stuff?
It's like the voice of the world shield
or the harp or something, whatever it is.
And then I'm like, why don't
use that?
They don't bring up the name Orange for me. They don't like. If you look at them, they don't say orange.
Well, that may be what they're trying to do. Is they may have been trying to branch out, but like it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't not saying the pedal. I don't know. I see the pedals, and I'm like, and they also did the OMEC transport, or whatever the fuck that thing is. It's like a mini enclosure. I still really don't get what it is. It's like you can hook this up and plug your guitar into there, and then you plug your computer back into here, and you can use your DAW and the effects in your DAW with your guitar.
So it's a flash drive? Yeah.
But you don't load them in. You have to be connected to your computer to do it. I'm like,
oh, what?
I'm like, what if? Or you can use your smartphone, and if you have like your amps and cab bottlers and like crappy effects on your app on your phone, you can just plug that into your pedal board now. So now you get some bullshit effects.
Jesus Christ!
Even easier.
It's funny because you love Orange, and you only talk about how great they are.
Who the fuck is gonna want to bring your cell phone on stage and make sure you put it next to your pedal board? Plug it up.
Make sure your batteries.
Make sure you're charged up.
Make sure you're not running Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Make sure you don't get any phone calls on when you're playing a stage. I'm like, I legit watched several videos, and I think I heard him talk about it on 60 Cycle. I watched Mary Spender's video. I was like, what is this? Why did you do this? Who gives a fuck? Like,
why are you like this? Don't worry.
Yeah. I just go by the booth and just yell at them. I yell at the wall of Orange. Like nobody's around. Like there's people around, but I don't try and talk to them. Like, why did you do this, you fucks? Then I walk away, and it's like, what is that guy's problem?
I don't know. There's one every year.
There's one every year. And somebody else comes like, where's the Orange booth? I gotta go tell them about how shitty this OMEC thing is. Oh, it's over there, buddy. Anyways, oh man, I totally forgot about that. I was just gonna mention their pedals. I'm like, I don't think their pedals, besides that OMEC thing, are really like, they just don't. You just don't think about them.
But let's face it, the bass is the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, that's the biggest shit.
It's bad.
I'm gonna cut to the chase here. That bass fucking sucks. It's just ugly looking. It's ugly. And it looks like
it's made like it's plywood. It looks like it's like an inch thick or less, probably less, like probably like half-inch thick.
It looks like crap. Oh fuck, man, they're just getting too silly. But we got another big one. Fender.
Oh yeah, Fender.
They got their guitars, which are good, right?
Yeah.
Basses, good.
Yeah.
Amps, good. Yeah. They got
consistently good on all of those.
Practice amps, they're good.
Custom shop line, amazing.
Yeah. And then they have their gig-worthy amps for bass, for guitar. They're all good.
Yeah.
And they got these pedals.
Oh,
I had just not sold on this.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it. I'm like, it's just not. I'm like, I understand like Fender has done this before with cheap ass shit, and then they're like, whatever, keep trying to do it. I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? Nobody's asking for this. Like, we have a distortion. We got a grittier overdrive. Okay. We got another overdrive. Oh, we got a fuzz.
Yeah.
Oh, we got like they keep putting more and more crap that nobody's ever asked for. I think they had a reverb, and now they're doing a trem and reverb. Or maybe they never did one, but now they're doing trem and reverb, which is supposed to be like, oh, coming after this trem and flint, baby. The designs don't ring Fender to me.
No, they look
just
like
slap a
cop out.
Yeah, and then they could look slick or whatever. Hey, slick, it's like they I don't know. They're like the brushed steel, like metal that is colored, and like they're it says Fender on there with the Fender logo that to me doesn't fit. And then, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitching. Like I have no desire to ever try any of them. What's the fucking point?
Yeah.
It's like I don't think anybody ever thought like, oh man, my board, I could use a Fender pedal on here.
Yeah.
Fender, just do your take on a drive pedal that everybody's fucking done before. I'm sure you're just gonna mass produce these in China and then put a brush in a brushed steel box and then slap your name on it. Can't wait to get one of those.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's in purple.
They are disappointing, actually. The way they look.
And I don't.
The font. It looks like someone made it like we harp on like other graphics and stuff, but this is like unimaginative completely. It came out of like a lab. And
then their marketing for it too was like, oh, it was kind of cool because they did like cartoons and some crazy stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't get what they're going for it, and I don't know how popular they are.
No,
so I'm sure you can listen to some podcasts, and they might just say these are gangbusters and they're selling out. They're the best things in the world. Maybe they got their hands in the pie a little bit better than we do.
But you know what? Pedal was really good. FRV1.
Yeah, and that was a boss.
They didn't make it.
Yeah,
leave it to someone else is what I'm saying.
Leave it to somebody else
to model your amp,
to model your type of effect.
Yeah. And I don't know how the Bassman pedal is from Boss or the Deluxe. Yeah,
but that you just got the Fender. You're winning it there.
You get all three of those, dude. You don't even need an amp anymore.
I don't know. I just think like Boss did it so well. Why can't like Fender just like kind of like take that ball and run with that? Do something cool with that. I don't know. It's like, and then they keep coming out with more than I don't know. This is just bitching. With that, it's like they keep coming out with so much of this pedal line that I don't know if any of it has hit yet, because I think people just got the shock of like Fender's making pedals the same way that we're talking.
What's
right
that
now.
distortion? The pugilist?
Pugilist.
I don't give a shit now.
I thought I had to do something with pugs.
Yeah, like damn it, pugilist.
And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, and then they have like a metal one or whatever, metal distortion. I'm like, I don't know. It's like so many of them that I can't even picture them.
Yeah,
I know they have.
And they're all new. It's not like they were eased in. It was just like boom,
and then
they had like it's like two phases. It was like summer.
Yeah, they did. I think summer. And I thought
last year.
Yeah, and then I thought they did some more after that, like in a random like maybe fall or something.
Yeah,
could probably be totally.
And then they have like was it the delay they released recently, or did they have the? Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
And then they released a bunch at NAMM.
Yeah,
so it's like cool. I think they have. I don't know. I'm not even like looking at anything right now, but I'm sure they have at least like 8 or to 10.
Just re-release the Fender Blender, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's a fuzz. I don't really care.
But, yeah, man, we're talking some shit.
Yeah, we are.
And I don't know. I think that's about it. If you guys can think of others. And I'm like,
we're running dry on these.
No, I just think we're doing too much shit talking. We got to reel it in. So, just wanted to say before we get out of here, thank you so much for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. And if you guys like what you hear and you want to follow along, you guys can do so on our social medias. Join us on Instagram at The Tone Jerks, and you can join us on the Facebook group. Just search The Tone Jerks and you'll find it. And if you guys really like what you hear, you guys can help support the show on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you guys can help support the show. But if you guys double down for $2, you guys get an extra episode every week. Oh yeah, you get the good stuff. And then... Not that we're giving you bad stuff now.
No.
But you get extra gooder stuff over there.
Yeah, it's bestesses.
Yeah. You get that good over there. Fucking sound like a jackass. But just for, helping us out, we wanted to give everybody who's supporting us on Patreon a shout out. So a huge shout out. Kyle, he's got a list and he's going to give it to me, baby.
All right. We have Abe Newman, Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast, Andrew Walsh, Brett Alexander, Co Schneider, Doug Christ, Doug Gann, Doug King, Digger from Fatfoot Effects, Jamie Davis, Jason Fuzzmonger, Jim Bowers, Johnny Ray, Joseph from Like My Pedals, Kevin Equits from Equits Guitars, Leon from Pelican Noiseworks, Bruce Banana, Michael Newman, Sean Arbo, Sean Fahey, Steve Mike, Stephen Conradi, Will Lehue, Colin Smith, and Alvaro Viramontes.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you for your support.
Thank you so much.
We are out of here. See you next week.
Bye.